StarCraftWorld.net season. We have some of the strongest competitors ever assembled. One player in particular that we're going to be focusing on today is JH. With a legendary prize pool of over $500 for first place. People from around the world are coming to compete for the prize. A prize so big, it's getting attention from around the world. JH, who's achieved S rank, will be in the way of anyone dreaming to get that first place prize. With incredible unit control, micro, macro, APM, everything, JH stands in the way of all mortals. Can anybody take him down this season? Will the Korean Slayer be able to beat him? We'll be focusing on JH and Zerg in this video. Bam, bam, bam! What up, YouTube? Another sweet little intro there put together for our boy JH, who is currently crushing the StarCraft World Net League. He was number one when I made that intro, but as of today, he actually has lost his number one spot. But it is close to Mr. Maximum, I do believe, who we aren't completely sure. We are skeptical. It may be 4 drones, aka the Korean Slayer. We aren't completely sure, but that is what the rumors are. But here we go. We're going to jump into the first game here. We do, of course, have JH going to be playing Zerg. We're going to be focusing on JH's Zerg versus Protoss. In my opinion, it is the most difficult matchup. So we're going to see how the number one Korean currently does it. He is going to get pretty fortunate here and get that first Overlord Scout off, which is always so helpful because you can see exactly what the Protoss is doing. You can stick around to see if they're going to throw down any Nexus, any gas, and all that. And that will be able to help you plan your tech accordingly, your defense accordingly, blah, 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 all that good stuff. You'll be able to prepare. But of course, that is going to give away your position, so the Protoss will be able to know exactly where Mr. JH is. JH does have a pretty interesting hatchery location here. He's not going to be using it as a part of his wall. So we're going to see if that is backfire. The one good thing, I guess, I don't know if that's good. We're going to see how this works out. He's going to throw down his second hatchery. He's going to save up some larvae for his Zerglings because he does know this will be a very offensive heavy build for our yellow player, Mr. Gangster Plug up here in the yellow Protoss. So he did pull 4 probes to try to stop any kind of sunken colonies from going down. Mr. JH will be pulling 2 drones to combat this. He does have 8 Zerglings on the way, though. He is able to get those 2 sunkens down, no problem. That is a big-time mistake for Mr. Yellow. He pulled these 4 probes for the exact reason to delay these sunkens, and they did not do that job at all. So these are going to be able to throw in a couple 5 damage shots in these battles, but they really needed to prevent those sunkens from going down. That was their job, and they failed miserably. The first sunken bow is still going to go down, not able to get any shots off. 2 zealots and 2 probes are in the Zerg base. Oh, look at that, another probe is here. So we're going to have to see these Zerglings defend these drones as well as they can, and they do a pretty good job keeping every single drone alive. Still just producing Zerglings from his 3 hatcheries. Doesn't look like he's going to be interested in teching too quickly to anything else, and he is going to go right for the counterattack. That is the good thing about scouting early, that you do know exactly where your opponent is, and this is going to be putting the Protoss player in an awful situation. We can see JH not even bothering building any more drones or anything. We can see in the production trap, it's all Overlords, all Zerglings. He knows that he has his opponent on the ropes, and he does not need to tech anymore. Zerglings without speed should be enough to kill this this main at least, and if without that main, I don't even know if he'll be able to get enough minerals to get himself another Nexus. He is going to be producing Zealots at home, but they aren't joining in the battle. These Zerglings getting microed very nicely, getting stayed alive. We can see the shields are down, and the Nexus has taken damage. He has two control groups in here sniping off. Probe's going to want to prevent that cannon from going up. The Protoss player still is in a supply lead, but he is not in a favorable situation. If this cannon does go up, he will be okay, I guess. Our Zerg player has now started drone production. He is going to try to transition a little bit, seeing that that cannon is probably going to go up, and with all this Zealot support, it is going to be probably not the most cost-efficient thing for these Zerglings to fight. And he's going to make a pretty good choice here. You have to make these split-second decisions, and we can see this one is probably the best one. He's going to focus on taking out now the gateways up here, now that most of the Zealots have ran home. Luckily for Yellow, he did keep 3 Zealots back, but they are going to get surrounded and taken out fairly easily. A couple more Zealots are in production, but popping out one at a time. They're going to get surrounded, and they aren't going to be able to fight too well, but luckily they are pretty strong, and they are going to be able to clean up these Zerglings. Our Zerg player has just been droning up the entire time. He is just starting his gas now. A bunch of Zealots are going to run by if he is able to, I don't know, there's only 2 Zerglings to defend this, so this is actually it's possible to do a lot of damage. We can see 10 Zerglings are in the production tab, but at what cost? These drones not actually doing too bad, fighting with their Zerglings brother and not letting these Zerglings just die. Shooting 5 damage of acid drops at these Zealots. Great teamwork by that Zerg. We do have a Hydralisk Den going down, so it looks like he's probably going to go right into just a 3-hatch Hydralisk. Again, very good stuff. Our Protoss player is going to go for his Nexus, try to transition himself, but this is going to be a reverse aggression, I see. We can see that our Zerg player has pulled up quite a few minerals, probably going to be making a bunch of Hydralisks now. Oh no, he is going to get that range first. He wants to get that Nexus, I do believe. A couple more Sunken Colony, or one more Sunken Colony going to go down to make sure that these Zealots only have one path to go through that is going to be able to block them for the most part. More Zealots are being produced by our Protoss player, who is going to throw down another cannon behind his choke to make sure that he doesn't die to any possible lurkers behind or Zerglings. Still going to be good defense in this situation as a Protoss. You are not the most comfortable, even though you do have a good supply lead. There is going to be a vulnerable little spot, I imagine, coming up here pretty soon if 5 gateways may or may not be able to produce enough Zealots for this potentially big Hydralisk attack that is coming out. We do see the Hydras now being produced. He's going to get his Overlords all out so he can get a steady stream. His economy seems to be good enough now, and yeah, he's going to just start massing Hydralisks out of 3 plus 1 slowly morphing hatchery. The Protoss player has thrown down 1 robotics facility and a Citadel of a Dune, so we can see he is kind of spread out here, trying to get his economy up, do everything at once, and not really focusing too much on one thing. These first Hydralisks and Zerglings are going to be out on the map. I can't imagine this going too well for them, but with the shield, or with the backup of the Sunken Colonies and the micro of his Korean fingertips, he may just be able to make this work. These Zealots are going to move in if they do get close enough to these Hydralisks, but they're on a mission. They just left those pylons. He's smarter than me. They were just on a little covert op mission. They weren't there to fight the Zealots. They were just there to pick off those pylons to make these 3 gateways even more, or to make them completely useless, unpowered. They do need a pylon, so now all of his production is off 2 gateways right now. The Protoss player is supply stuck as well. Over half of his production facility is now useless, and most of his army is up here when it needs to be back home. 3 zealots and 2 cannons will be the defense against like almost not even 12 hydralisks, but he is confident in his micro, and he is going to be right here. If these zealots were back home, they probably could have fought this, but we would see the Korean micro, which is super high level. He might be able to keep these alive. We will see him probably target and then move back the lagging ones, keeping these reinforcing hydralisks alive so they can group up and be together with their hydralisk brethren who will have their back, keeping all of these hydralisks alive. Those zealots not doing any damage. Yellow tried to throw down more cannons, but he is not going to have enough. It doesn't look like it. These hydralisks moving in. All of the probes have been pulled to try to save their dear life, but I don't know if it will be enough. With Mr. JH's micro, very nice stuff here, with very few hydras being able to counter so quickly, so accurately, every single attack, doing massive damage. And this main looks like it will fall down, and yes, it will. A couple hydralisks do remain alive, but he is just going to call GG. His economy is in a mess. He knows that it is not likely for him to be able to come back. And yeah, wow, look at how easy ZvP is. You just got to hold the mid build without losing any drones and only building 1 sunken, and then just counter with 8 hydralisks and 6 zerglings and take out all of their main. Oh my goodness, good stuff there. But yeah, wow, game 1. We'll check up the score screen here quickly before jumping into game number 2. Another game 2. Mystery Gangster Plug, no slouch, 2:16 8 p.m. And yeah, G. Alright, diving in. And of course, again, we will have JH playing the Zerg. And he will be up against the Protoss player. This time it will be Mandingo07. He is a very high caliber player as well. He is, I believe, A rank up in the top 5. So he is no slouch. He will be up against a monster though. So he probably is the underdog. I think most people who go up against JH are the underdog, as he is a beast. He's very high level, low money. And he's been playing fastest now for quite a while, and he is pretty good. He's going to open up with the standard hatchery at the choke. This time it is going to be a part of the wall. And his first overlord not going to go straight up. It is going to go across the map this time. I don't know what propels his decisions to or where to send his overlord, but this time it will not be the correct way. I guess he is searching for the mid build just in case. That is going to be the case, because you do need zerglings prepared if that is happening. As we saw in the last game, we just learned that lesson together. Our Protoss player going to go for the very meta Nexus first that everyone is enjoying a lot. It seems to be pretty effective. Pretty good for the most part, especially if it doesn't get scouted right away. That is the biggest problem with it. I think is if it gets scouted, people can react accordingly. He is going to throw up that second pylon at his choke just in case it is a Terran player. He will have his choke up ASAP and not die to any crazy marine pressure. Also not the worst thing to do, just get a couple cannons up so later on if it is a Protoss or if a Zerg wants to run in with a Zergling to scout, you will prevent that. He is going to fake some pressure up here and throw down a pylon, which may trigger JH to react like he did last game with a lot of Zerglings. He is trying to throw down his third sunken colony, so I do think he is taking this quite seriously, but that pylon is going to get cancelled. Of course, it was just a fakey fake. That is what you sometimes like to do if you're mid-building to prevent one of the sunken locations The Zerglings are going to go into a blind dash down to the bottom middle. Now they are going to get split up here, which is a lot smarter move. The probe is going to be kept alive, getting chased down by the Zergling, making sure it will not be able to get any shenanigans up. This Zergling is going to find the Protoss, and I don't know if the Mandingo canceled that or not, but he is going to prevent that first cannon, whether it was canceled or killed, from going up, and it's going to be annoying, and probably, I think that was definitely killed, and that one was definitely killed. I was watching the minerals for those two, so that was 300, possibly 450 minerals just wasted away for no reason there. Possibly another 100, oh my goodness, that wasn't canceled either. So just a lot of minerals being thrown away. Luckily, he does have a double nexus, so his economy won't be too hurt, but he will be slowed down. We can see that he is now getting supply stuck. He doesn't even have his pylon getting produced. Microing against this early defense can throw you off from your normal build orders. And we can see just that happening right now. Still no pylon being built by Mandingo. Rare now throwing down his cybernetics core and only one pylon. I feel like you need to throw down a couple more pylons there, bro. You're pretty supply stuck, but he is being pretty busy with these Zerglings staying alive. Meanwhile, Mr. Zerg has thrown down 3 more hatcheries at home. He did throw down those first 3 and 1 more just in case, but he has completely ignored that now. He does know that there is going to be a possibility of a Zealot counterattack, especially as there isn't any other tech up right now, but he does have a pretty good idea of what's going on. He has definitely made those Zerglings worth it, and it is still alive, getting off even more scouting information, and information is key in StarCraft, especially in a matchup like this. If you can know exactly what you're up against, it'll just be so much easier to defend. We do see a 3rd Nexus going down for Mandingo, possibly a little worried that he is a little bit far behind from those Zerglings. Not sure exactly how many probes they did take out, but it definitely did slow him down. He was supply stuck for easily a minute there, possibly longer, I don't know. Hard to keep track of time when you're talking non-stop casting a game. Another cannon is going to go down. He is scared of any kind of more Zergling run-bys. He's not sure if it could be quick mutas too. These Koreans are capable of getting up mutas very quickly, right around this time actually, so that's probably just for that little bit of worrisome. He does have 4 gas in his robotics facility down. Looks like he is going to go into drops ASAP, but I feel like there will be some Hydralisk knocking on his door a little bit before that. We can see our Zerg player has just non-stop been macroing behind. He's going to get 5 additional hatcheries up here, macro hatcheries. He does have his 2 gas, going to get his 3rd gas down. That is the exact amount you do want. Look at that, he even does have 2 Mr. Droney drones here at the home. They might have just popped, or he kept them there for this exact reason to stop that, making these Zealots not very strong, and they took massive damage trying to run by there. Just not looking good at all for our Protoss player. It's amazing how just these really minor things can change the tide so much. Mr. JH is playing pretty good accordingly. Pretty good from what he scouted. I imagine that he is going to mass up a bunch of Hydralisks. We'll see if he's going to try to defend with them first, to defend that first drop, or if he's just going to go for the kill. I imagine with his Korean heritage, he will go for the kill. They aren't a big fan of playing long games if they can kill you earlier. So these first Hydralisk Zerglings are going to move out. Only 2 cannons up here, so feel like he's going to be able to tear through that, no problem. No units at all right now for our Protoss player. I don't see a single Zealot out on the map, and without any Zealots here, 5 Hydras and 2 Zerglings are going to be able to destroy this choke, and with more and more reinforcements coming in, these are some quick Hydralisks. I guess that's not even that quick. These are just smart Hydralisks, I guess. He's able to attack with just 12 Hydras pushing across the map. Gonna go right over to Mainville and possibly pick this main off. No, only 2 Zealots are being produced right now. He was going right for drops again, not making much of an army while teching up. Super greedy stuff, and it's going to be sniffed out perfectly by our Korean player. I do love to see that this stuff is possible for such high caliber player, because it's not like he did anything too amazing. He just kind of scouted, threw the Protoss off a little bit with that crazy link. Like, okay, he actually did quite a bit, I guess, to get himself in this situation. I'm not going to take it away from him. These 12 Hydralisks, though, are going to stay alive, picking off more cannons, wasting the Protoss as more money. I hear a Zealot attacking something. Oh, there it goes. Did kill one. He is not even going to say GG. He knows that this spot is not good, that this Hydralisk line is just going to continue to stream in. And, yeah, wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. JH making Mandingo look like a noob. Obviously, he's not a noob. We said that earlier, but yeah, that is pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff by Mr. JH. Very high level game sense there. Being able to just read the situation perfectly and know exactly what to do and just make mincemeat of a very high level Protoss player. Good stuff, JH. Good stuff, buddy. Wowie, wow, wow. Ayo, wayo. Another one. We got another one. Another one. Another one. And this time, Mr. JH's Zerg will be up against our legendary admin / web hosting / top donator giver awayer of the season money, I think. I know, yeah. I don't really know for sure. I haven't seen where that money comes from, but I'm pretty sure Sword is the #1 donator. He is Fire Sword. Used to be Extra Sword, but then he changed his name for some reason. I don't know. Hater. Smurfer. He will be representing the purple Protoss this time, and we'll see how he fares. I don't know why I'm eating right now. It's a dumb idea. Why would you eat when you have to talk? Not a good idea. So I won't. I'm eating a granola bar too, so it's gonna get my mouth all pasty. What am I doing? Why did I get a granola bar? I was a little bit hungry in that last little break. Mr. Sword gonna throw down a forge and a gas first. I can't imagine that this is gonna go well for him. This is something that he has been doing a lot. He's been going for a quick robo in Corsair. He actually worked on me. Unfortunately, he was right on top of me, so it was a little bit lamer than a regular game like this, but we'll see how she goes. This definitely does have potential if he is able to get it all up, but I don't know. JH is pretty good at scouting, capitalizing, and destroying. So we'll see how this goes. Fire Sword not going to mess around. Going to throw down those cannons up immediately, knowing the potential threat that he is up against. This Overlord is going to be able to see the Parobi probe, and he is going to get the hunch that Mr. Protoss is up in the top spot. This Overlord is going to be able to possibly see this choke. It is just searching for a mid build, but it is going to see, it is officially seen what it is up against, and now it is going to be able to possibly even cancel these sunken colonies. That would be pretty ghosty if he did do that, since he is seeing that it is double forge right now, but he is going to he's going to let them finish, knowing that he may need them eventually anyway. Not going to be that greedy. Gonna send up a couple of Zerglings though over here, because he did see that a probe was on the map. Maybe this is some kind of shenanigans. We have seen, well, I have seen Protoss players build a choke at a different base, so the player gets very confused and does some kind of attack over there, and then yeah, he's over here. Bam, tricked. These Zerglings are going to group up and go for a nice little run by to check out what's going to go on, and they are going to be successful. 3 Zerglings did die to sacrifice for the greater cause, but these 3 guys are going to go in. They're going to see the very quick gas, going to know that it is going to be most probably a quick robotics facility into a very quick robotics or a quick reaver drop. 1 cannon is going up at home, but these Zerglings have already managed to pick off 3 or 4 probes already. 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 probes already. So this is already nearly game-ending damage. I don't know why Sword isn't using his probes to fight. He did lose a massive amount of probes, and when you have 2 geysers up, that is even less probes collecting. So Fire Sword not going to be able to have a Nexus up anytime soon if he's going to want to get that tech up early enough. We'll see how Mr. JH responds after this. I guess he's going to know exactly what he's up against. He's going to be able to just drone up and chill. He knows that drops aren't going to be able to come out anytime soon because he hasn't seen at least any kind of robotic facility. He's going to be able to check out the exact timings here now. We are just checking out JH's vision because I imagine he's going to be able to see everything that we need to see. He is going to be able to see that robotics support bay, and the only way you can get a robotics support bay is if you have a robotic. So he is going to know that a robotics is up, even though he hasn't been able to scout it. That tech is going to be able to give it away, or that the building is going to be able to give away what the tech is for our Protoss player. And the Zerglings are even going to check, make sure that there's no Nexus up. It is possible that Sword does have this proxied on the map. Let's actually check out where it is. Yeah, it is proxied out here on the map. He does have it over here to the left. I feel like he should have just built that support bay over here too, but sometimes that can be risky because if it does get scouted, sometimes it can be killed before the upgrade is finished. So I understand why he did build it at home, but it is going to give away his tech secret. The first Hydralisks are popping up right at the 5-minute mark. That is going to stop the super early drops, but he is moving them up forward. I'm not sure exactly why he's doing that. Or maybe just a rally point. I don't know. I feel like he does need to move those over to his main. Yeah, there he goes. No, maybe not. I'm not sure exactly what he is doing. We do have 2 Zealots going to come out here just as a distraction. Only 1 gateway at home. He is throwing down his Nexus. Going to get himself in a pretty particular situation. He's going to have to get some damage done with his drops. These Hydralisks are a little bit out of position, but 3 of them are moving back home right around the exact time that he needs it. I did just hear my oven go off. I don't know if you guys could hear that beep. These Reavers are going to go in. The Hydralisks aren't in position. He is able to pull all of his drones, but he's still going to have to worry about these Reavers. These Reavers are able to do pretty good damage versus Hydralisks. Going to try to micro them with the dropship to his best of their ability, but they are going to get picked off with pretty good ease. Saving off all of his drones, was able to pull them away and clean that up with some Hydralisks. So very good defense there. Not even really worrying about it at all. Just going to rely on pulling his drones. No defense, no nothing back here. So that is pretty just high level confidence that he's going to be super hyper aware of his minimap. Make sure that none of these drops are going to sneak it and GG him. Probably just going to mass up enough Hydralisks to move across the map. We're going to see exactly, yeah, we are going to see the full mass robo again outside of his base, which is going to be pretty risky, but kind of worth it, as it is going to save him a lot of travel distance to get over to Mr. White's minerals. All of these drones are scarily on that one side. If there is one Reaver shot, it could potentially kill all of them. We do have another drop. Only 1 Reaver going to be spotted by this Overlord in pretty good time. Is regularly going to come out here. Is pretty suspicious. Maybe just wants to run. I like to patrol outside of my base or outside of the other opponent's base. The Overlord is going to be able to spot it, giving White more than enough time to react, bringing his Hydralisk down here. Going to have a little dance party perhaps with this dropship here. This Zergling is going to see where all of Purple's tech is, and if he's able to pick that off, Purple will be back into the Stone Age, and I don't know how he will be able to recover these drops. Really have to do something. Oh, and he's going to lose another dropship with a Reaver in it. The Reaver is going to be able to fight these 3 Hydralisks. Thankfully, a couple cannons going to go down for the inevitable attack. He knows that once it's scouted, that will be priority number 1. If you can kill this, you will stop the drops, and that is really Purple's only chance, as he's pretty much going all in with drops. Still only 4 gateways at home. Not what you want if you're going to try to outmass a Zerg player. These Hydralisks going to come in here. 24, less than 24 Hydralisk here, going to be more than enough. Sword is just going to forfeit the match once he loses all of that tech. And yeah, wow, easy peasy, making this look easy peasy, making me feel bad about losing this matchup so much. Mr. JH just manhandling these people with just a handful of Hydralisks. Crazy stuff. I will be trying to mimic this high-level Gosu play. Jumping into another game. Okay, jumping into another ZvP, another JH ZvP here. Of course, as I've just repeated several times at the beginning of each of these games, JH Zerg, little bit the same thing. He will be in the bottom right position, playing the Zerg Orange Protoss. I don't know, I had a really big brain fart right there. And to this next opponent is Mr. A.S. Savage. Pretty high level guy, pretty good. You can see him spamming up to 700 APM. And it looks like he will be attempting the mid build. That seems to be a pretty popular thing to do. Most people do like to do that. They can sneak in some easy wins early on. A very far forward hatchery by JH. We've seen some interesting hatchery placements. It's like he's still kind of discovering where the best spot is. Either that or he just has these particular spots depending on the position that he is. The Protoss player isn't able to scout first. Gonna throw down his double gateway and have his second probe come out, build that third one, and continue with the scouting. The first Overlord going to check out the bottom middle position, see that no one's there, and move up to check the mid build. He isn't going to find it maybe as early as he needs to. We'll see. Actually, probably once he scouts this probe, he will know to pool up the larvas for those Zerglings. I feel like pooling up 6 larvae for those, or 3 larvae for those 6 Zerglings is key to countering this, because yeah, you need that to stop the run by and protect your sunken colonies. He seems to do this every single time. This time, actually, though, he is going to... Oh, okay, that's okay. He timed that out pretty good, I guess. He did build 1 drone in there, but the 6 Zerglings will still be produced. The 2 probes are here fighting the hatchery, going to get good targets this time on these drones, not letting the first one get up, but they both get up pretty easily. They're still, despite these probies' best effort, he made that look easy again. That can be very difficult. Sometimes these drones just don't like to build ASAP. Now we see all of these Zerglings coming up right in time yet again. He has this timed out basically perfectly. And I don't recommend anyone going for a mid-build versus JH, because he is just incredible with these Zerglings, keeping them alive and getting all of the damage information that he needs, sometimes just killing off probes. He is going to have to take a guess on where the Protoss player is. He's going to send all 4 of these Zerglings into the top middle, thinking that that is just the most possible likely destination for the Protoss player. He is going to be wrong. One Zealot is chasing them down here. He is going to have to protect only 1 pylon here, but I guess he's not going to have to worry about it with only 4 Zerglings. But still, this is going to keep the Protoss's attention keep the Protoss's attention on defending instead of attacking. And when you mid-build, of course, you want to get as much damage done as possible. He is going to go for a Nexus and his gas. So again, he's going to be spreading himself out quite a bit. This is going to leave him semi-vulnerable for any kind of potential Zergling run by. We do see Mr. JH is supply stuck here, maybe microing those Zerglings a little too much. Actually going to fall down or fall behind a little bit on his macro. Not what you want to do as a Zerg player. Not what you want to do as anybody ever. You do not want to be supply stuck. You want to be constantly building and growing and, yeah, evolving and killing. These Zerglings are not having a good time scouting. Going to be in their 3rd spot. This is why I like to split them up, because if you don't get lucky, then you just have wasted a lot more time without getting any information, and you just want more information earlier, because and if he would have been able to scout, he could have been harassing more. And these non-Korean players seem to fall behind just a little bit every single time that they are defending this. Of course, I do not blame them, because it is difficult to have a real 200 APM without any kind of spam. These Zerglings are going to now attack the pylon. I guess once he saw these zealots at his choke, he realized that this may be a weak, vulnerable point, and he is right. 2 robos going to go down at the front. I do like this. This is Tony G PVZ right here. I don't like to mid build, but I do like to get those robos up at the choke. I like to get those reavers out. That just totally neglects any kind of Hydralisk break for the most part early on. And you can get some damage. You're going to have to make the Zerg deal with it, unless the Reavers are just going to be dummy dum-dongs and run into the sunken colonies, even though they will range them. These Zerglings are just being annoying, again, making a lot of these probes have to go off mining to attack and then pulling them back right away. And then just picking off more and more probes too, just able to be so annoying here and getting just tons of damage done with units that just normally would be doing nothing or die in vain just taking out shields. So that is just the little things that change the game, really. These tiny little things that you do that just throw the Protoss off just a little bit to get those just couple extra seconds that can lead to just huge advantages. We see the Hydralisk speed being upgraded here. He likes to get the 2 gas to start off, and then 2 additional gas once he gets all of his upgrades kind of going while macroing up. He is pretty confident in his ability to read the situation with drops, because he doesn't seem to even bother putting any kind of sunkens behind his main. The Protoss player is going to get his first Reaver drop out while protecting his main at home. Again, the Protoss hasn't got any scouting off, so he does have to be worried about a Muta bomb, because sometimes those Koreans like to go for those 3 or 4 hatch Mutas very, very quickly. I think he should know that that's not the case by how many sunken colonies are at the front, but I don't know exactly what he's seen. We do... Yeah, that just seems to be the plan right now, is a Reaver drop. I feel like these Hydralisks are going to be in enough numbers and in the proper position to pick this off. He doesn't have an Overlord over here, which is kind of peculiar. I feel like that is a little bit of a blind spot, possibly the most likely position, but I guess that's kind of the meta. He's going to put the Overlord up here instead of down here, thinking that the most likely position for the Overlord is down here. Going to let the dropship come in and then pick it off. Easy peasy. That is, I guess, the benefit of going for speed first. He did go for speed first this time. Able to quickly pick that dropship off and then put the Protoss player in a not so good position. You just want to get some damage done. You did invest into that drop, into that Reaver. The Reavers could be punching away at home. There's a Spire. Okay, we do see a Spire. So this is what the Koreans do like to do. They like to get the Mutas just to kill off the Reavers, and then they just mass Hydralisk behind it. So we're going to see some high-level Korean Muta Micro here. I do imagine he is going to get a couple drones out here to reinforce this wall. He doesn't want to die to any kind of potential mass zealot follow-up or goon follow-up that could be behind. He knows that he's in a great position, and he just wants to capitalize on it. He is just probably going to be just massing units now for the foreseeable future. I don't see him going into any kind of upgrades or anything for right now, as, maybe we do see a couple drones, as I do say that. Should be looking at the production tab. He is just making mutas and drones, so maybe he's just going to be massing mutas and continuing to get his economy up. I don't know. He's smarter than me. Good stuff, though, for him. Faux show. Getting these mutas now all stacked up here. Going to pick off these Reavers fairly quickly. He could just attack these cannons here, and if he does, that could be GG. I have won games like this before too, where you just mass mutas and take out the tech, and if you invest so much so early into this tech and it gets taken out, you are just not in a good position. He is going to ignore it and run by. See that there are 2 Corsairs up here. Only 5 cannons are up right now. 2 more are being thrown down, but there isn't going to be much here at home. These 12 mutas could potentially rain havoc on this main. Hydralisks are pushing out in the meantime too. Going to kill that pylon, which is going to stop any more robos from coming up. The mutas picking off the Corsairs now, spreading out fairly nicely to fight these. These Corsairs are just way too outnumbered. More muta reinforcements are coming in here. He's going to be able to, do some nice damage, at least from the top here. A couple mutas are getting picked off from these additionally morphed in cannons. And just massacring these dragoons as they pop out, continuing to mass from his very good base at home. Lots of hatcheries are thrown down. Going to be able to just continue to mass. I don't see how the Protoss is going to be able to answer. I think he just spread himself out a little bit too far, going for the tech drops and then kind of neglecting his mass for the most part, being vulnerable to these early goons. You need to get a scout off to see exactly what the Zerg is doing. But I guess if you go for the mid build, you also need to be getting a lot of damage done, and that just doesn't seem to be possible versus Mr. JH's Zerg. He seems to defend that mid build very easily and know exactly the timings to counter the Protoss. Not giving up quite as early as we've seen earlier Protosses. He does still believe in himself, which I gotta respect. You gotta believe, right? These Dragoons may be able to pick off these Hydralisks, but we see on the minimap a big line of reinforcements going to be able to come in, and I do not believe 6 Dragoons will be able to fight the Zerg swarm that is JH this game. More and more reinforcements streaming across the map. This is more army than these 4 gateways will be able to produce in the next 4 minutes if they were be able to pool up units. He needs High Templars. That is the only chance if you aren't going to have any robotics facility units. This is pretty anticlimactic. I don't see any possible chance that the Protoss player can get in here. The Zerg just throwing down more hatcheries at home. His upgrades are starting. He has just got everything rolling. What a powerhouse this player is. Very high level Zerg. You can see just macroing back at home, getting all of his gas up. He is ready for another plant if he was to somehow fail this, but he now is targeting the Nexus. These cannons up here will not be helpful when your economy and your tech and your production are all down here. Not giving the dream up, though. JH just going to fight these cannons. He doesn't fear cannons. He's not worried about it. He's not worried about it. He's going to fight them and destroy them, and I imagine hopefully we'll see a GG here, not just a re. It's very rude to ask for a re before saying GG, but yeah, we'll see. I imagine JH isn't very happy about our Protoss player continuing to fight. He is wanting to just snatch this W. The probes being pulled, every last unit fighting. AS still believes. Oh, and he's just gonna leave after all that. Maybe he's just angry and maybe just a little disappointed in himself. Just gonna get the grips on reality. But yeah, JH again making it look shmeezy. Check out the old score screen here. And yeah, look at that. They actually had identical APMs. Wowie, wowie, whoa. Yeah, alright. Well, maybe we'll jump. No, actually, no, I'm not gonna. We're gonna just end it right here. Those were a couple JH games, a couple of short ones there to basically countering the mid build Hopefully it gives you some ideas and some inspiration in your future Zergverse Protoss matches. Remember, Hydralisks are pretty deadly. You don't even need that many of them, I guess. You don't even need 2 full control groups. Sometimes you don't even need 1 full control group, and you can counter a mid-build Protoss. Impressive stuff by JH. Great unit control, great scouting, great everything. Good job, JH. Good luck to anyone trying to take down this beast. I wish there was a final tournament this season, but it is just the top 3 get paid in the rankings, how they finish in the season. So get out there, go to StarCraftWorld.net, sign up for the fastest map possible league, and try your chances once you get to a high enough rank against JH. Hopefully JH and the Korean Slayer will play, and once they do, I will cast those games as well. Hopefully they get like a dirty old best of 7 or something in. And yep, okay, until next time, it's a GG.